Yep, 13/16. Hey guys, so today we have this. It's a Craftsman 21cc hedge trimmer, aka the Bushwhacker. This fall, unfortunately, we went to do our bushes and the pull recoil looks like it's given up the ghost. Pretty sure this thing needs a new primer bulb, and since we're at it, we might as well run through it. Plus, as you can see, it seems to be missing the cover for its air filter. Maybe I have one somewhere around that'll fit and we can get that sorted. Alright guys, well let's crack into it, see if we can't get this thing going again. Because it was working. This was a free, not working. And then I fixed it, and then it was a free and working, and now again, it's a free not working. Alright guys, let's crack into this beast. Hey guys, before we get into the video, if this is the type of content you like, give it a thumbs up, and also, consider hitting the subscribe button below. Anyway, let's get on with the repair. Okay, so I guess we should start taking this thing apart. I have no idea how to get to the recoil, so I figure I'm just going to start taking things off and until we get there. Start taking screws off and we'll see what happens. So I guess we'll start with the handle first. I've got a 5/32 bit and seems a little small. Like it's not quite the right size. Maybe it's a number 4 I need. No, never mind. It is a 5/32. That is the right size. Get this one out. Okay. I know we'll have to take the spark plug out, but let's take this handle off. Okay, there goes the handle. Well, let's see. What other interesting things can we remove? Screws out of the way. Okay, that needs to be picked out, and I think this one too. Yeah, that one needs to be picked out. I'm going to put these screws to the ultrasonic to clean all that gunk out. When I take them out, of course. You're going to remember how all this goes back together, right? Because I'm, as I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just taking screws off and trying to get to the pull recoil to fix this unfortunate mess. I wonder if any liquid got in there. I don't really want to look because I have a feeling some water got in there. Yeah, I have a feeling it did. I don't really want to look. We'll look after. Right now, let's try to get to the pull recoil. Hopefully we don't have to take that off. When it comes down to it before, yeah, we'll take a look in there after and we'll have a peek. So you'll hold me to it, right? You'll definitely hold me. Good, thanks. I want you to make sure you hold me to it. Is that enough? It was enough. Yeah, got it. Okay, so there, that's gone. Okay, so what was the purpose to doing that, I wonder? Okay, so this part's now separated, but it's being held on, I think. It's just a spring. I think it's just the springs that are holding it in place. Let's see. How am I going to get this off? I think doing that. Okay, so now what's the purpose to doing that, I wonder? I guess it would be to remove the fuel tank and assembly away, but now... How do I... Guess I can start removing the clamshell? Let's see. So is this the recoil here? Let me have a quick peek. I think that's the recoil. Maybe it's these 4 screws. So let's remove those 4 screws. See what happens. Isn't this fun? I think something happened. Let's get that screw up first. Maybe something happened? Yeah, I got it stuck. That's what happened. Oh, something's come away. Okay. Right. So, I've got myself in a trap. Yeah, I gotta get the carburetor off, it looks like. Or at least I gotta get the throttle off the carburetor. That way I can remove all this and get this completely out of the way. And then we can actually concentrate. Oh, sorry, I'm not... Because then we'll be able to concentrate on this thing once it's completely separated. And if I need to take the blades off, I could even put this whole thing in the ultrasonic to strip off all the grease and whatever crap might be in there. I have a really bad feeling about it. And go from there. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But at least we can get that off and strictly deal with this. But first things first, let's get that carburetor off. Now, unfortunately, after I'm done with this, beside me here, a toolbox fell down. And what a mess it made. There. Now, we can get this guy off. Okay, so let's see. What size is this? It's like 5/16. I can't use that one. Let's try 8 mil. There we go. Got it through. Perfect. Right, now we should be able to separate the engine from the base, ideally. Unless there's something else there's something else holding on the start-stop. But we should be able to actually take the whole handle off now, at least. And get rid of the blade. Maybe. There we go. Now you see it, now you don't. Now we're going to disconnect the handle, and it looks like it's these screws here, 1, 2, 3. I don't promise 100% that this one here on the throttle cable, if that one actually has to come off, I have no idea for sure. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. No idea. We'll find out. Now it looks like you do have to take the throttle cable off. Does this one have to come off too? So we have to remember these two. One of these, this one here, that goes up here. That holds down the throttle cable. The shorter one holds down, I guess, the trigger to the throttle cable. So I guess the actuator. And the two shorter ones are just the generic plastic handle ones. There we go. Much easier. I'm going to forget this. I already know it. So remind me. You guys got to remind me about this. All right. What we came for, the disconnect switch. So we're just actually going to take it right out. Good. The handle is completely free, so I'm going to take it away for a good cleaning. There we go. The piece de resistance. Now we can get into the meat of the matter. But that'll be after these important messages. Hey, look at that, guys. Look what I found. A red subscribe button. If you made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I love to read your comments, and I try to reply to as many of them as I can, especially the early ones. All right, guys, back to the video. All right, so we got to get that spark plug out. I think that's 13/16. Yep, 13/16. At least it didn't fall on the floor. Maybe it wasn't 13/16. Maybe it's 3/4, so slightly smaller. But it came out, so that's all that matters. Ah, looks like the plug was running okay. RCJ6Y. I Champion. Not bad. Not a bad little plug. I mean, the machine was running. It just, well, yeah, that kind of happened. So let's see, was it this one? Definitely not. Yeah, it's a 3/4. So I'll just go blop and leave you in there and set you aside. Hopefully I don't forget where it is. All right, so we got 4 more screws to take out, and they're Torx instead. So are they T27? Nope, they're T25. Oh, I have to rattle this clutch off. Oh, that is such a pain. Oh dear. I have to rattle this thing off, don't I? I think I have to rattle this off. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. Okay, at least let's get these screws all out. This reminds me of that home light I worked on. That one, up there. That one was a whole world of not fun. Let's get that guy out. Put these screws off to the side so you can get this guy out. There we go. Magnetize the tip. That's all it took. Okay. So now it's free, but can we remove the top from the bottom? That I don't know. I don't think so. I think that just removes the bottom. But why can't we get this guy off? What's... More screws? Oh my goodness. There are more screws holding this one on, this top onto this, but where is it? Underneath? Probably. Yeah, that's terrible. All right. I concede defeat. I can see defeat. I'm gonna have to rattle that off. Let's do that tomorrow. All right, guys. See you in the morning. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I got it off, and I didn't have to use my gun at all. What I did, filled up the cylinder with rope, made sure I didn't get any in the side, so I made sure that it went all the way down and then came up a little bit. I just made sure that when I turned it past the point of the bottom and continued, it was in this direction. That way, when I was trying to take it off, it would continue in that direction and wouldn't cause the piston to go back down or up. It would basically be that the rope is holding it. So after I did that, I used these. I just simply grabbed on and turned. And sure enough, it came right off. So I'm sorry you guys didn't see that, but that's basically all I did. Oh, right, the washer. I'm going to put all this with the rest of the parts. Oops. Okay. There's, ooh. Oh, that startled me. Goodness gracious. That guy in there. You see him? Hey, buddy. There he is. Yep. That guy startled me. Well, I put him on the floor and sent him on his merry way. So now we can see how this looks. And I'm going to see if I can pry that out. I should have gone the other way. Oops. Oh, silly me. That's okay. I'll just take it right off this way. Then we'll put the boot through. There. Okay, engine. I'm going to blow this out. Yeah. Okay, bye for now. Now we can deal with this guy. Hey, 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 hey. None of that. There. Hey, look at that. Check that out. That is really cool. I bet you. Come on. How freaking great is that? Yeah, let's get the rope out. Well, it's really petrified. There we go. Okay, first things first, I'm going to spray a little bit of brake clean in there. No, not brake clean, but carb cleaner. Oh, why did I spray it all the way through? That was kind of dumb. Good job, Mike. Way to show them how to screw things around. Make a mess of things. Right. There. Then I'm going to put the rope. I guess I shouldn't have done that since I'm going to use fire. Good job. Right, so I'm going to let that evaporate, and then I'm going to join the rope. So give it a few minutes to evaporate. In the meantime, I'm going to spray some WD-40. Hopefully that helps free it up. I really don't want to open that up. I really don't. I just want to let the chemicals do their magic. Then I'll spray some dry lube down in there and we'll pull it a bunch of times and try to work it in that way. Right, should be safe to use fire from way up here. There we go. So this was a spare string that I took off a broken recoil. If you want to know what broken recoil, check that video up in that top corner there. It was off of an old Craftsman with a Power More engine. Since one of the mounts for the recoil were broken, well, I'm not going to reuse it. So I took the rope off and I have re-roped it. So that's why I have this. So let's get that put on. Now I'm going to let it go. The rope should be plenty long enough. And if not, well, I can still get it. Now let's see. Release it. There we go. Yeah. Just give it a little bit more WD-40 underneath in there. Oh no, look at that. Payment declined. Never. That is so sad. I have no idea what this is for. Scammers try everything. All right, so I think that's good. It feels really good. Nice and smooth now. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it out. I guess about that far. There. And let's see if we can just pull the handle all the way through. Maybe. Cool. Guess to about there. Beauty. Okay, so that's how we change the recoil on this. Now we can start getting it back together, but now this isn't so bad. But I want to clean up the rest of it before I go any further. Well, Maybe it's not so bad. But one thing we should do, since we're here, might as well reset that coil gap. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to give this a quick blast out. So first, we're going to rotate the flywheel away from the coil. That way the magnet doesn't pull it down. Then, using a 4mm or 5/32 hex bit or Torx D25, we're just going to loosen these off. Slide it back to its fullest. Slide in the business card of a questionable car dealership. Rotate the magnet around. Let's try that again, rotating the magnet around, not the counterweight. There we go. Then we're going to hold the ignition coil against the flywheel and the business card, and we're going to tighten it down. Then we take the business card away and by turning the flywheel, and it helps force the business card out, and that's it. Your coil is set, and it should be set between 1/10,000th and 1/18,000th to maybe even 1/20,000th of an inch from the magnet, and you should be getting some pretty good consistent hot spark that will run your engine. Right, that's it guys. Looks like the coil's set. Now we just got to get it back together. All right, let's get this thing together. Gonna clean off this grommet. There, it came out much better. Looks way better. Now, so you know, there is a shaft on here. Or I should say there's a collar that goes on this shaft. So you don't lose it. Especially so I don't lose it. Now the cleaned hardware. Need this washer. There, I'm going to stuff in some string so that I can tighten that up. There we go. Next, we'll get that screw on. We'll get that screw on right there. There. Oh, and apparently there are more screws that hold down this top cover. Let me show you. So if you notice here, there's some dimples. There's 4 of them. So I think you got to peel this back and it reveals 4 screws. And that removes this back cover. But I think that also exposes the crankcase. I don't need to do that. The next thing we got to do, get through that carburetor and get all that reattached. We'll get started on that. All right, so let's give this carburetor a quick run through because it looks like a little bit of water may have gotten around on it. Okay, so to get this carburetor apart, I'm going to need a Phillips screwdriver. Yes, primer bulb seen better days. If I could get it off, let's take these off first. It's the pumping diaphragm and gasket. These rarely go bad. Very rare do those go bad. The whole key with these, it's all about those flaps. As long as it's all still flat, this diaphragm's still good. These flaps here are actually valves. And if they're bent up out of the way, they don't cover the ports properly. It'll allow the gas to transfer when it shouldn't be. This is how it does the pumping. And I can't get, there we go. The primer bulb didn't want to come off. Seems to be okay. That's the top plate. We're actually going to back this out. It's got a lot of corrosion. So I want to give it a cleaning. There we go. I cleaned up those threads quite nicely. Next, let's open up the bottom. Now this is the metering diaphragm. This is the one that usually goes bad. This one's actually not bad. There's nothing wrong with this metering diaphragm. Still nice and soft and supple. This is the next part of the carburetor that you have to pay attention to. This nose right here. Sometimes they're long. Sometimes, like this one, they're short. You have to have the right one. Otherwise, it won't engage with the plunger. So if it's too short, then it won't engage with the plunger if it requires a long one. And if it's a short one and you put a long one, then it'll automatically be already engaging the plunger. And that plunger prevents fuel from traveling in between the 2 chambers from the top to the bottom because there's a little needle and seed in there. Get this gasket off. Hopefully I don't rip it. There, didn't rip. Move the diaphragm. And as you see here, there's another screw. Be very careful because under here, there is a spring. This pin comes out. And there's the spring. Don't lose this, but they do come in new kits. And there's the needle. These needles also come in 2 different sizes. Or maybe it's 3 sizes. I've only seen 2 sizes. There's a short one, and there's this one, which is the long one. Next is we've got the jet. So let's get those out But first, we have to turn them in all the way and count the amount of turns in and record it. So the jet furthest out, I believe this is the high-speed jet. We'll turn that in. Half. 1. Half. And not quite a quarter, looks like an eighth. So I guess 5/8, 1 5/8. And finally the low speed jet. We'll turn that in. Half. 1. Half. 2. Half. 2 5/8 it looks like. Oops. Right. So I'll plop all this into the ultrasonic cleaner, and then when we come back, I'll show you how to reassemble it. Okay, the carburetor is now out of the ultrasonic, so we can rebuild it.
Yeah, I remember that girl. She was a hoe. For show.
And the whole purpose of that is to try to keep the spring held in place. So you don't get a fantastic close-up shot of it. So I use the WD-40. It holds the spring in place. So when I'm putting on the plunger with the pin and the needle, I can get it on without the spring falling over because the oil kind of holds it in place. Normally I use 2-stroke oil, but unfortunately I kind of forgot where I put it. So the WD-40 seemed to work just fine though. And it looks like the oil went through just fine. Right, so let's get the diaphragms on now. This port here and this port here get covered by these two flaps on this diaphragm. New bulb, the top plate on, two Phillips screws, and finally we have the throttle set screw, or the idle set screw. We're going to screw it all the way in until it just pushes the throttle lever. Right around there. Next we have the high and the low. So the high is the shorter one. And the low is the longer one. And we're going to screw these in all the way down. Now the high, if I remember correctly, was 1 5/8 turns out. So we'll turn it out. Half. 1. Half. And an eighth. Okay, and the second one, the low, that one was out, I think it was 2 5/8. Half. 1. Half. 2. Half. And an eighth. Maybe around there. Come on, let go. Let go. And there we go. Carburetor's all put together. Ready to go back on the engine. All right, I guess we better open up this thing and see what we're looking at. Whew, stinky. Must have gear oil in it. Oh, that stuff stinks. Stinky stuff. Good grief, that stuff just... Oh, I can't stand the smell of gear oil. Okay. Big reveal. Yeah, that's pretty nasty in there. I would absolutely say that's pretty nasty in there. Let's get this blade off. Maybe we can get this blade off. At least all the screws are the same. There we go. How bad is it? Is it terrible? Well, let's see how bad it is. It's not, I guess it's not terrible. Lots of grease at least. But I think I'm going to put this through the ultrasonic. Well, let's blast this actually out first with some carb cleaner. Clear out some of the rust. Uh-oh. Did I stuck it. Okay, I got it now. I think. There we go. She's free spinning now. Much better. Oops. Oops. We don't want to do that. Gross. Oh no, the camera's falling. Good grief. Okay, let's pick this out. Never mind, there's nothing to pick out. There's nothing to pick out there. Get this grease out of here. I'm gonna have to get some grease. Actually, I got a whole bunch of white lithium grease. I'll just blast it in here. I think that'll work just fine. Okay, so I'm going to put this through the ultrasonic cleaner. That way it can break up some of this grease and grime and whatnot in here. And then I guess we'll give it a spray with some white lithium grease when it comes out. And get it back together, get it back on the saw, and get the saw back together. Alright guys, next time you see this, hopefully it looks a little bit cleaner than that. But it does look a lot better than it did. That's kind of what it looked like before. So yeah, that it looks way better now. Alright guys. See you soon. Well, it looks like everything cleaned up pretty good. I gave this thing a new coat of paint. I don't know if you can tell. This side I just scuffed it down with the wire brush to knock it all down. But once this has some grease in it, not a big deal. But I gave this a little bit of paint and it gave this really weird texture. Like, look at that. I don't know how well it comes through on camera, but it's almost like those paints that you can get with like little bits of sand ingrained into it, and yeah, that's kind of what this has. It's kind of neat. I like it. Right, so I'm just gonna get some grease in here, and then we'll get it all back together. I have no idea what I did with my gloves, so I'm just gonna use some paper towel. I don't feel like getting it all over my fingers. That's why, and I don't need a ton of it. So we're just going to coat the bottom of this. And here. I guess we'll add a little bit into the teeth. There. I don't think I'll need any more grease than that. So I'll add some lithium grease here. I'll add the collar. Now we'll adjust it so there, it drops in. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more grease in there. Let's take you up. And we'll add just a little bit here. I know once it actually starts running, then we'll really see the grease fly. Let's get a bit more on here. That should be good. Right, put a little bit more on the post. What the heck? Won't hurt it. There. Perfect. I'm just putting these two in back here just to temporarily hold it in place, so I can get those properly lined up. These are just screwing down into hard plastic, so if you over torque them, you can end up stripping out the plastic threads. You don't want to do that. Right, so let's get the cover on. But I am going to give this a generous helping of lithium grease. You know, it kind of reminds me of Caillou, I think. Maybe. Yeah, big nose and everything. Either way, looks pretty grumpy. I know once you see it, now you can't see the big nose and grumpy face.
Oh, finally! I can see again. Thanks for giving me back my eyes. I seem to be missing, a part of me. What happened? Where did they go?
Oh, yeah. You're not supposed to be awake. You're supposed to be under surgery still. I gotta, how can I, okay, good. We've dealt with it. So far, so good. It's coming out pretty good. All right, so I'm going to spray the blade here with some lithium grease. Here, let's work it a bit. Okay, now we can get the rest of this machine together. All right, well, let's get the carburetor on the engine. Oh, wait, we got to get the handle on first. Okay, let's get the handle all together. There we go. Took a little bit of finagling. Then we'll get the base plate on. Okay, that part of the handle's on. Now let's see about getting the engine on. So I wonder how many of you caught my mistake. Here, I'll show you. Take a look at these two screws. This is the one I put in. This is the one that's supposed to be in there. Anybody catch that? If you did, mention it down below. Let me know that you caught me with the screwed up screws. There we go. That's all done. Now we got to build this handle. All right, so we'll get the kill switch in place. Oops. Somehow. Come on, kill switch. Get in there. Oh. Yeah, something tells me I was doing that wrong. I think so anyway. This is supposed to go down here. Then up and in. Okay. That makes sense. And I need this little trigger release thingy. How did that go here? Yeah, that goes there. Oops. Yeah, it goes oops. That goes on there. Stop it. Behave. Okay. I think. Okay, how is this? That goes there. And then these fuel lines go through that little slot too. I remember doing this last time. I hated it. This is crazy talk. Okay. I think I've got this now. Something like that. Oh. Oh no. That guy's out. Okay, push that down and then. But oh man. Okay. This is gone completely off the rails here. Uh-oh. I don't want that to fall off. Okay, this has gone off the rails. Completely, totally and utterly off the rails. What is happening here? Okay, so that goes there. Okay. Okay, like that. There's the throttle cable. All right, let's get all these wires, hoses and whatnot tucked up out of the way. There. Now that can go in. Something like this. These tubes can go like that. This won't cooperate. Of course not, because it doesn't want to. Behave. Enough of this silliness. Good lordy. Come on now, behave. The struggle is real. There. No. There. Okay, I'm going to hold it like this. I just want to get one screw in here. to hold it. Come on. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's that one. Why does it have to be like that? Okay, we'll get this one in. Oh no, this guy. These things are the bane of my existence, I tell you. There. Now we'll get the front in. The medium length one, that was this one. And then the really long one was this one. And the short one was here. Oh, crikey. One little oops. One eensy beensy little itty bitty oops. I'm about to fix it. There. Fixed it. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Now next, carburetor. So yeah, guys, about the mistake I made. In fact, I didn't make a mistake originally. I made it after the fact. You see, these actually aren't the fine thread screws. These ones here are plastic screws. It's here. These are the fine thread. Yeah. So don't listen to me. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. But I caught the problem after the fact. So let's fix that. Yeah. So the fine thread, this is where those go. Provided I could get it in the hole. So I'm going to quickly fix this mistake, then we'll get the carburetor on. So I'm getting thwarted right here. Now I have to extend the extension. Right, before I take out that one, plop a couple of these screws in. There we go, all done. I think that was the last screw to go in. No, it isn't. We got two more. That's right. All right, let's get this handle on. That one didn't seem like it wanted to grab. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to try switching it out. I think there's a slightly longer one. I think that's what it needs to be. All right, now the last screw. And this thing will be technically officially all the way back together, other than the carburetor being on. there we go. All we have left to do is really put the spark plug in and get the carburetor on. Okay, so now we can get this carburetor on. Alright, so let's get this gasket on. There's two little nipples that stick out, and that kind of forces it to go on only one way. So we'll get the throttle cable on. There. Now the fuel lines. So the fuel lines, the small one goes on the bottom, which is the fuel line. The top one, that's the purge line. And that's the larger hose, or tube, or whatever you want to call it. There. And the carburetor goes on. Oops, I forgot this part. Silly me. Good thing I caught it now. Now we'll put the throttle on the carb. Ah. Try that again. There. Throttle linkage is on. I have a new air filter housing actually coming. I really hope it fits. Come on. Why aren't you threading? Did I miss the hole? It feels like it's just threading and threading and threading. Oh, it's just threading and threading and threading. It's a very long thread, apparently. There we go, finally got it. Holy cow, I didn't think it was that long. Do they need to be this long? That just seems so long. And I know it came out of this trimmer, but holy cow, those seems like they go forever. Oh, looking good. Very nice. I'm going to wait for the air cleaner to come, and then as soon as it comes, we'll put it on, make sure that the choke flap still works okay, because it's actually not this air cleaner. I don't know where I can get this air cleaner because I don't see it being made anymore. And since I don't see it being made anymore, I can't really find it. So I just sourced a random air cleaner, and if it fits, great. If it doesn't, then I guess it goes back. Anyway, guys, I'll see you as soon as it gets here. Right, so I got a couple things today. 2 boxes, 2 air filters. They're slightly different each one. This one, I don't think is going to work for anything. Take a look at this. I mean, so far so good, right? I'm like, sure, we could pop that on, but it doesn't quite fit. It's a little bit too big. And then they sent us the base. Someone explained to me how this fits. So you got this part that this goes through. Fine, no problem. But where's it screw on to this? Like, it doesn't fit. And this looks like this is one that clips here like a clamshell and folds up like that. What the heck is this? And this, like, Sure, I can understand here for like, say, an Echo trimmer. But what the heck is this? Well, I can say that this thing here, it's going back. I ended up ordering 2 of these accidentally. They're both going back completely, totally, and utterly useless product. Now this one shows promise. That one's for a steel product, and I think this one might work just fine, other than the fact that it has a choke already built onto it. But we can fix that. Let's make sure it works first, then we'll pop out the choke. Yes, I know, we now have a double choke system. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing. It looks like it's going to work just fine. Looks like it's going to work just fine indeed. Perfect. Choke still functions as normal. And we even have a second choke. Look at that. Choke is on, choke is off. Choke is on, choke is off. So it's going to be slightly reversed. Big deal. All right, so let's get this retainer out. This one even comes with a pre-filter. That is nice. There we go. She's done. Back together, and even has a brand new air filter housing. That is perfect. Oh, yeah, the spark plug. Sorry guys, that was unintentional. I did not mean to forget the spark plug. Let's tighten that down maybe. Not with that. This is crazy. I'm not going to be able to tighten it down. There. It's in. Spark plug wire goes on. And there we go, guys. That bushwhacker's done. Ready for another season. We fixed the pull recoil, went through the carburetor, and now have a brand new air filter on it. And air filter housing. So this thing's done. Alright guys. See you in the next one. Right guys, so thanks for watching all the way through. Comment Bushwhacker, so I know that you watched the video all the way through.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. Very much appreciate you watching all the way through. If you haven't already, give it a thumbs up. That does help the channel a lot, pushes this video out to more people, and lets them know, hey, guess what? This is actually a pretty good video. Also, if this isn't your first time here, and you haven't already, maybe this video is the one where I've actually earned your subscription, and I would very much appreciate it if you would subscribe below. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it again. Yeah, watching all the way to the end of the video, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.
Anyway, guys, spark plug off for safety.
How dare you!